Hey everybody, this is Denny.
And this is James from TDB bringing you not in between.
In-between-isode.
Yeah, episode...
Sacrilege.
I know, right? Episode number 130. So we're doing something a little bit different today.
Yeah.
If you guys saw our compression episode last week, episode 129, we brewed out a couple different teas on camera and talked through them, and just kind of compared the brews. And so This episode, what we're doing is we're taking those teas after those, 5 brews?
5 or 6.
5 or 6.
With a rinse.
And we are going to brew them out. And so we're going to sort of like explore a different set of brews than we would normally do.
Yeah, and so, one of the, I'm going to get going here, but one of the ways you guys might experience this in your tea adventures would be heading over to a friend's house who's already mid-session. And you'll taste a tea, and you'll be like, wow, this doesn't taste like what I'm used to. It doesn't have as much punch, or maybe there's a little bit, the higher notes are a little bit more pronounced, or it's got a different texture. And so we're going to kind of explore that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, like, that's one thing with Pu'erh that I feel like is just, like, a kind of, like, inherent blind spot for TDB, so to speak. Like, a lot of these Pu'erhs, even, like, some of the lesser quality plantation ones, will brew out 10 times. Some the better ones might go for
Very true.
13 or 14. So very rarely do we get beyond like 4 or maybe 5 brews on TDB.
And it's hard, you get used to what you're drinking. It gets harder and harder the more times you have the same tea to discern, to differentiate the little nuances and differences. So starting fresh with kind of a clear palate. We weren't drinking in the last episode. We were just filming and talking. And now we're going to kind of start with the 6th or 7th steeping. So
yeah,
let's give
absolutely.
it a shot.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers. So this is literally the first cup that I've had of the Poundcake. This being the 6th brew.
It's got a little bit of astringency. Doesn't have as much of the peat that I'm used to, as much of sort of the raw Pu'erh smoky mineraliness. It's got a little nice bitterness at the end of my tip of my tongue.
Yeah, it's definitely got kind of like this vegetal floral bite to it.
I agree entirely. Yeah, I was talking about how earlier it kind of has, the smell wise, it kind of has a bit of a grassy green tea smell, and then kind of more like those floral notes that I'm kind of accustomed with, actually, with like jade oolongs.
It's been a while since I brewed this. So you finished about 3/4 or 2/3 of a cake.
Yeah.
So you are more intimately knowledgeable about the pound cake.
Right.
But if I remember correctly, in my brewing, the tea starts out a little bit lighter. Ooh, that's a very kind of like candy-like aroma almost. Very intense. Is I remember the tea started to hit sort of like that bitter and astringent note, sort of on these middle steeps, like 5, 6, 7, depending on how you brewed, of course.
Definitely. And with a tea like this, we probably had talked about it in the last episode, but you're going to have the looser leaf is going to brew out a little bit more steadily and evenly. You're not going to get quite as much of a punch. Nevertheless, this tea in particular ends up having a lightness to it in the front of it. And at home, I won't brew with as much leaf, too, and that will influence a little bit of the punchiness of it. But I think right now it's great. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this tea actually starts out very light in the mouth, and then it sort of thickens up in a very pleasant sort of way.
I agree entirely. Yeah, and it's not those. So I find myself starting another session of this to get back to those sort of like peaty, smoky flavors. And right now, it's got much more of those sort of like mellow, grassy, floral, a little sweet, really nice returning sweetness actually, like a little bit candy sweetness too, saccharine. But I think that's one of the changes that's taking place in this, is that we're losing a little bit of the intense, young, raw flavors and getting into more of the kind of like green tea flavors. So
yeah, and in terms of staying power, it's very good still. Like even with sort of like the lightness initially, like my cheeks are getting flushed. I can feel a lot of strength in the tea still.
For sure. Yeah, this definitely, and we're brewing. I mean, you can see the Xiaguan is just to the brim. So this is James's brewing parameters are kind of 5 grams for this 90 milliliter Xiaguan. I'll probably do more like 3.5.
These are 70 actually.
Oh,
but
70.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's a gangster. Yeah, James has won the Tea Gangster Award many times over.
Yeah, I even got the teeth to show for it.
Oh yeah.
We'll get it close up for you guys.
So, but I mean, the color is just maintaining itself wonderfully. It's still got a really beautiful yellow. It's still got plenty of flavor, and you might miss a little bit of the subtleties had you been steeping this out earlier in a normal session. These flavors, they're a little bit hard. Like I said earlier, so they're a little bit harder to access had we not been starting just kind of later on in the steeping cycle. So
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I think texturally it's wonderful. It's got like kind of a silky texture, but like James is saying, it really kind of shows up in the middle of the flavor-wise. So, I think it's a wonderful kind of play balance there.
Yeah, and then it sort of finishes with that vegetal astringent kick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a smell of this.
Do it. Should we start brewing the other one?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. And I don't even remember. Do you
Really
remember
nice
what this
aroma.
was?
This is the
we got this from
2006 Dali Tuo that's been Guangdong dry store.
Got it.
And so this one, if anything, may have had an even more intense aroma when we were brewing them out
That's right.
the first time.
We were talking about that.
And the Poundcake is a very aromatic, intense sort of experience itself. So that says something about this tea.
Definitely.
And I suspect we talked about it in the compression episode, but like the compression of these super tightly compressed teas can really help to maintain the fragrance.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. This initially got a really nice sort of like raisin fruit sweetness to it.
Yeah, I get a lot of smoke, a lot of cigar smoke out of this. Totally agree with the raisins. It's brewing up much sweeter than it would have normally, and it's because we're on the 7th rate steeping. Again, we're doing the same thing here. We're brewing it. We're drinking it through the brewing cycle. But yeah, oh my god, the nose on that is raisin central. Yeah, it's got the sweetness of this I'm finding more pronounced than when I've been tasting it at home. So, and that's a lot of leaf. I'm not brewing it with this much leaf either.
Yeah, and you basically give that a flash steep almost.
I did.
Yeah, I struggled a little bit with this tea, and I think it's because I tended to push it a little bit on some of the steeps where it probably should not have been pushed, just because I was used to like parameters that I would use for other teas. It's like, all right, it's like the 5th or 6th steep, I can push it, but because of the compression, and we probably talked about this in the previous episode, it makes it so it comes apart just much slower.
Right.
And depending on how much you broke apart the leaves, I mean, you could try to break it into sort of like the form that we did the pound cake to, but you're just going to break a lot of leaves if you did.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a dust at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this might be more of a correct brewing way to like reduce some of those like gooey smoke characteristics that you're definitely going to run into if you overbrew this.
Yeah.
Should not be overbrewed.
No, this is a strong tea. Cheers.
Cheers. More of those smoke characteristics and heaviness in the body. Starts out with that raisin sweetness, which I find to be the most pleasant part of it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. It's got that smokiness. It's got really great kind of prickly mouth texture on my tongue, getting kind of the back of it. Good energy. Tastes great. Yeah, this is. I'm almost enjoying this more brewing it like this than I was brewing it just from the go.
You know, honestly, comparing it versus the pound cake too, the sweetness of it, which is a totally different type of sweetness, is very emphasized compared to the pound cake.
Yeah, interestingly enough. Give this guys, give this, and ladies, excuse me, out there, give this a shot. Let us know in the comments below if you've ever done this before, or if you do it as a result of this video. Let us know what your findings are.
Another interesting experiment is to give the tea a break. Go away, step away from the table for a few hours, come back.
Yeah.
This is pretty much consecutive, honestly. Like, we've done this all within 20, 25 minutes.
Right.
But that's another interesting way that sort of shakes it up.
Yeah, absolutely. Play with your tea. Just like, you know, don't get too naked while you do it. And
because that's illegal.
Where can people find more information about tea, James?
Yeah, they should come check us out on tdb.org. Also, check out the two vendors that these cakes go from. Yunnan Sourcing for the Dali Tuo and W2T.
Love both.
For the pound cake.
Thank you both.
Yep, so thank you guys.
Awesome teas consistently.
Yep, cool teas from both of them. They're some of the primary Pu'erh sources for both Denny and myself. And check us out at TDB. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the MailChimp thing.
Newsletter.
Yeah, newsletter. Do all that fun stuff. And thank you guys for watching.
See you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.